Thank you, Coach Stevens. So my first question is, you're undefeated in district right now with a big win last week, sweeping Marble Falls. How well do you feel about your team right now?
I think we're coming off of winning 3 games in a row with district play, and they're energized and they're fueled and excited to ultimately play St. Joe's.
So talking about St. Joe's, maybe the biggest game of the season coming up, crosstown rivalry. St. Joe's has been the top dog in this district for a while. How do you plan on dethroning them?
Yeah. Well, we are kind of fueled from our energy last year with not being able to play them in the playoffs. So we've been ready and we've been preparing since the beginning of the season. And like I said earlier, we're fueled on our energy from the previous wins and looking forward to running a quicker offense and coming in with lots of energy and ready to take them on their own court.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. All right, thank you, Coach Curley. So my first question is, last weekend at the Faith Hills meet, were there any issues that arose due to the weather, and if so, how did this affect your runners?
Well, we were prepared to run in wet, soggy conditions, but it rained too much, so we ended up, they had a backup plan to run the whole race on pavement, pretty much, which isn't exactly cross-country running, but we're there to race, so we went out and competed well. Our high school, our varsity team, the girls, we had three medalists, Bailey's fourth, Amelia seventh, and Sophie 19th. And our fourth runner, Caitlin Hendler, set a PR or season's best by over a minute. And so really pleased with their effort. The guys ran well also. I think 4 or 5 of the guys either PR'd or had a season's best Saturday, and I think they finished sixth overall at the meet. So it was a good day all the way around. Middle school also ran well. The conditions, they're kind of just there to race, and they have, in that way they're all business for us. But a couple of standout performances. Kathy Kolosinski, sixth grader, she ran about a couple of minutes faster than she's run before, and Jack Carlson, another sixth grader, ran 2.5 minutes faster than his previous best. So we're seeing great improvement week in, week out. Looking forward to our next meets.
So this upcoming weekend, you finally get to race against Shiner St. Paul as well as Sacred Heart, which are two of your biggest rivals for state. What mindset have you taken with your team as you head into this meet?
Well, we've run against great competition all year. We're a small school. We're used to running against the bigger TAP schools. And this year we've run a couple of meets where we've run against some big public schools. So competition isn't the issue. But, in a head-to-head matchup, you kind of want to see who you're running against, and you want to compete well against them. That's my experience as a runner is you want to show well against your rivals. So that's kind of the urgency we have going into Saturday's meet. We're looking forward to the challenge. Obviously, state's still a month away, so there's room for improvement, but we want to show well and compete as best we can, and maybe get in their heads a little bit come November.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Coach Curley.
You bet.
All right, thank you, Coach Adams, for allowing me to interview you. So, first question is: you started off district with a big win last week against Logos Prep. How well do you think your team played, and what areas do you think your team could improve on?
It was homecoming, so we came out with a lot of energy. First district game was also good, but we played well offensively. Scored 66 points. Defensively, we actually played pretty well too. Special teams wise, those are things we need to clean up a little bit. We had some kickoff returns we gave up, so the score could have been a little bit different. But probably the thing I'm most impressed with is the energy at which we played and the execution we played, pretty much on offense and defense.
So you dropped a game this week, so now you're given 2 weeks to prepare for one of the biggest games of the season against Emory Weiner. What will it take for you to be able to beat Emory Weiner?
No game this week, so we can start game planning a little bit more for Emory. We kind of know what they're going to run, familiar to what we run, so we'll start looking a little bit more film. But honestly, we have to clean up things we haven't been doing well throughout the season. That's our main focus this week. So we're going to try to stay sharp as best as possible with a week off, but it's also good to have some rest. And we'll work on special teams, offense, and defense, and then we'll start focusing on Emory Pride towards the end of this week, going into next week.
All right, thank you, Coach Adams.
Yep.